Hello boys, girls, and others, my name is Master Jigglypuff, and welcome back for another deck profile. Now yesterday, which would be Sunday the 26th, I think, Admiral Flygon and I went to an expanded league challenge and VGC doubleheader. I think he went 3-2 in the VGC tournament. It was his first one in a very long time, so he is getting back in the swing of things, but he had a lot of fun going. So, I participated in the expanded league challenge. There were, I think, 22 competitors, and I was able to get 3rd place. Now, the reason why we don't do too many deck profiles is we want to make sure that they're good first. So, like, if we win a tournament or get pretty high up on it in a tournament, then we'll do a deck profile, like with my Dark Seismitoad deck a while back. So, we just want to make sure we're giving you good decks, not just, like, pumping out decks with that aren't actually that good. Anyway, with 3rd place I got 2 Fates Collide packs. I don't know why they didn't have Steam Siege yet, but oh well. I'm definitely not complaining because out of one of my 2 packs, I pulled this miscut Glaceon EX. Let me take this out of the sleeve real quick. I was so happy to see this. Look at that. You can see one of the sides of Umbreon on the side of that Glaceon. Ugh. I was so happy to pull this. Let me look at the back. It's completely beautiful. It's not fake. The centering dot's right there. Pretty cool. This is not fake. It's just an error card. So very, very happy to pull this. I do want to start collecting these, and this is going to start off my collection. So shout out to Wake Run Collapse, I guess. He loves Umbreon and Glaceon, and they're both on this card, technically. So, yep. Leave a like for miscut cards, and I'll give you another look at the Lucario quote-unquote trophy. 3rd place Pokemon League. I think someone was playing this deck, actually. So, pretty cool card. Definitely awesome to add to my 1st place and 4th place collection. I just need to get 2nd place somewhere. So, let's get on to the list. Now, I haven't even mentioned what deck I ran yet. I ran a deck that's called Garbo-Toad, which focuses on Seismitoad EX and Garbodor EX. Not EX, just Garbodor. I'll just start off with the support Pokemon. We run a 1 of Jirachi EX. Now this is expanded, so there are quite a few cards you're not used to in Standard. Stellar Guidance, when you play it, it's kind of like Shaman, where you play it and you get something. With Jirachi, you play it down and you can search your deck for a supporter card and put it into your hand. So I'm going to try to stop moving the camera when I walk around. Next up, we've got 2 copies of Shaman EX. Of course, setup ability, read it if you want. Draw up and you have 6 cards when you play it. Now you want to make sure you get your Jirachi and your Shaman out before you get the next card out, which is Garbodor. Its ability, Garbo-Toxin. When this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, each player in play in each player's hand, and each player's discard pile has no abilities except for Garbo-Toxin. I run 2 Garbodor, sorry that wasn't even on camera, 2 Garbodor and 2 Trubbish. Sadly, I only had 1 reverse Trubbish and 2 reverse Garbodor. It kind of made me sad. So maybe I can get another one of these Trubbish before the next expanded tournament. So, yep, 2 Garbodor, 2 Trubbish right there. That worked out pretty well. Never really ran into a problem with getting them out. I think 1 or 2 games, a Garbodor and a Trubbish were prized. That was pretty sad, but oh well. Next, this is going to be it for the Pokemon lineup for Seismitoad EX. Now, this is a item locking and ability locking deck. With Quaking Punch, you do 30 damage. Your opponent can't play any item cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn, and just for a double colorless. So, they can't play items, and they don't have abilities. So, they're kind of just blocked out. If you can get item locking your first turn or second turn, they're in a pretty bad way. And the only energy in the deck are 4 double colorless energy. Pretty explanatory. Counts as 2 colorless, so you can use Quaking Punch or Setup if you want, or Sky Return if you really wanted to. So pretty cool. Only 4 energies though. Next is the supporter lineup. We have 2 copy of N. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Then each player draws a card for each one of her remaining prize cards. Pretty snazzy. Pretty standard for any deck. Next we've got 3 Professor Sycamore. Easy as that. Discard your hand and draw 7. Now onto the 1 of Tex. Wait, here's 1, 2 of. I ran 2 Lysander. I chose this over 1 because you want to be able to stall your opponent out if need be. And believe me, having 2 really came in handy the entire tournament. Next up, we've got one AZ, just to pick up like a hurt Toad. If you lose a DCE, you'll learn later on that that's not much of a problem anymore. Next we got Xerosic. Discard a Pokemon, choose a Pokemon tool card or special energy attached to a Pokemon in play, yours or your opponent's, and discard it. So pretty cool. Then we got Team Flare Grunt. Discard an energy card attached to your opponent's Pokemon. That includes special energy. Just keep that in mind. Then we got one Getsus, where this came in clutch so many times. Your opponent reveals his or her hand and shuffles all item cards found there into his or her deck. Then draw a number of cards equal to the number of item cards your opponent shuffled into his or her deck. This card is insane, and it saved me many times, because I didn't want a Sycamore and I didn't want to end, but I had no other draw support but a VS Seeker and a Getsus in the discard pile. Or VS Seeker in my hand, Getsus in my discard pile. It was amazing, and it just helped stall my opponent even more. And we have Ninja Boy. It's our last supporter. It says, well, pretty long, so I'm just going to read that, or let you guys read that. Pretty much, it lets you switch one of your basic Pokemon in play with one on your deck, but all of the effects stay on it. So, let's say you had a Shaman on your bench, just sitting there, and it would probably get one shot if someone just Lysandered it out, and they take 2 free prizes. If you Ninja Boy, the Shaman was on your field last turn, you Ninja Boy that into your deck, you grab a Trubbish, and you have a Garbodor in your hand, you can evolve the Garbodor right there, because it still keeps the number of turns in play. Yeah, sorry guys, it's early. It's the day after. I am still kind of waking up, so bear with me. Next to our tool lineup, I am doing a separate section for tools. We run 2 Headringer. Pretty trolly card, especially with Seismitoad EX. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to cost 1 colorless energy more. I actually used this. Volcanion EX was a huge thing because of Keldeo. What I did is I used a card you'll see later called Tool Scrapper and discarded their Floatstone and then just attached this Headringer to their Keldeo, not to make its attacks cost more, but just so they could not put another Floatstone on it. So these came in handy a lot. Just throwing it out there. Next, we run 2 Floatstone to put on Garbodor, Shaman, whatever you need to get out of the active. Garbodor most likely, so you can turn on his ability with Garbotoxin, attaching a tool. These give the Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost. So Garbodor has 2 retreat cost. Don't do that to Seismitoad too often, but if you have to, you can. Next, we run 3 Fighting Fury Belt. You can read that there. Adds HP and does 10 more damage. Pretty awesome with Seismitoad, and with Volcanion being so prevalent, the weakness was really awesome, hitting for 80. And then the next card is an item card and a stadium, which is almost the complete other third of this deck. People call it Laser Bank. I ran 4 copies of Hypnotoxic Laser. You guys can read that here. So they're automatically poisoned, and you flip to see if they become asleep. And Burbank City Gym put 2 more damage counters on poison Pokemon between turns. So they're poisoned, you do 40 damage, then they take 30 in between for 30 damage in between turns for being poisoned. That's 70 damage. If they're a fire type, 80, 110, you're knocking out a Volcanion EX, even Fury Belted, after 2 turns. So that's pretty great and pretty awesome for this tournament. Then we have 3 copies of Burbank City Gym. I'm running out of room on my mat. I'm going to go ahead and cut here and see if I can do something about that so you guys can get a good look of the list at the end if you want to use it, change it for yourself, whatever. So I'll be right back. And I'm back. So sorry about that cut, guys. Just trying to make sure you guys can see everything. Can't really see the Xerosic on the side or the AZ. Hopefully you guys can read the names at least. So anyway, now on to the regular items list. So that's the deck so far. And usually any expanded deck will run a 1 Ace Spec because, well, you kind of have to. Or you can only run 1 Ace Spec in your deck. Anyway, computer search, very awesome. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for any card, and put it in your hand, shuffle your deck afterward. Very awesome in this deck. You can search for pretty much anything you'll need. Pretty snazzy. I've even just searched for a Shaman before to draw, search for a Garbodor, anything you really need, to be honest. Next we have standard 4 copies of Ultra Ball. That's pretty much standard in any deck. An expanded 3 Trainer's Mail is pretty much standard. And then 4 copies of VS Seeker. Staple cards, I'll just put in the pile right there. Now, we're actually pretty much done. There's only around 4 tools left. We run, because to troll even more, from being item locked, ability locked, and stalled with Lysander, all kinds of stuff, there's also energy denial. We run 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. Flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah. And it can be any energy. It can be a DCE. It can be anything you want it to be. Just, you discard it if you get heads. Now, I only got 2 heads out of 5 matches yesterday. So I got 3rd without energy denial. Yeah. It was a sad day, but everything was okay, I guess. Next is a card I mentioned earlier, Tool Scrapper. Now, I chose this over Startling Megaphone, which discards all tool cards attached to your opponent's Pokemon. I chose this card, which says, choose up to 2 Pokemon tool cards attached to Pokemon in play, both yours and opponents, and discard them. Now, I got head-ringered once, and you do not want to get head-ringered with Seismitoad, because you have to attach a whole other DCE to be able to attack. With Tool Scrapper, you can discard a head-ringer attached to you and a tool attached to your opponent. Now, don't want to rant too much, but I was facing Volcanion, and like I said earlier, they had Keldeo. Now, I Tool Scrappered away their Floatstone and another one of those tools, whereas if I had Megaphone, I think I had another head-ringer attached to one of their other Volcanions. So if I would have Megaphone, that would have fallen off, and they would have been able to attack with it faster. But with this, I was able to discard that, just the Floatstone. So pretty handy, pretty handy. Next, another reason why AZ is not, where is it? Up there. Just put one of your Pokemon into your hand and discard all the cards. That's not that much of a problem because of Special Charge, which came out in Steam Siege. Shuffle 2 energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. So, Seismitoad gets knocked out or you AZ it into your hand, that gets discarded. Well, you Special Charge and then Computer Search for that DC if you need it, or Shaman, or anything really you need. Also, another good thing I forgot to mention about Tool Scrapper is, let's say it's late game, you're in a bit of a pickle, you need to use Shaman but Garbodor setup, you can discard the tool attached to Garbodor and have your abilities back for a little bit, and then just attach another tool and your opponent's ability locked again. So, pretty cool. And again, to note, you are also ability locked when Garbodor is active. So, again, Tool Scrapper, very awesome card. And then, Energy Special Charge, very cool. And the last card is Super Scoop Up. This is a very, very old Super Scoop Up. I was able to pick this up for a great price. It was about, I think I got it in like a 10-cent bin. This is about like a $5 card actually. So, very happy to pick this bad boy up. Flip a coin. If heads, return one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your hand. That came in handy quite a lot. I was able to pick up Shaman, Toad, Garbodor. It was super handy. I'm just trying to make sure all this stuff is on camera for you. If you guys want to try out this deck, because Toad's a lot of fun. It's kind of mean, but it gives you results, so. Okay, I think that should be good. If you guys can't see anything, feel free to leave a comment below and ask. This is a Jirachi up here, EX. So yeah, if you guys want to see more deck profiles, why not leave a like and comment down below, like I said, if you want to try out this deck, or if you've played a deck like this before in the past. If you want to yell at me for being mean for playing Seismitoad, go ahead as well. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for daily Pokemon videos, such as vlogs, live streams, Pokemon Go videos, deck profiles when we do good, which isn't very often, and daily pack openings. And yeah, leave a like, and we'll see you guys next time.